from Sport Bar TV.
Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
swimming,
basketball,
netball
and athletics,
you'll see this logo.
It's all about
Be the influence.
Hello and welcome to round 13 of the Northern New South Wales NPL. It's great to have your company at the home of the Lambton Jaffas at Arthur Eden Oval this afternoon. In just a few minutes we will see the second and third place sides do battle, and it's the Lambton Jaffas taking on Hamilton Olympic. Last time these two sides met was in round 4, a 1-1 draw in a wet weather catch-up match in May. Both sides were stuck in the mid-table before the game with 2 wins out of their first 5 matches. Hamilton went on to win 4 in a row, and Lambton went undefeated until now, and they sit almost atop the ladder, so they bring out the best in each other. In recent weeks, both sides have struggled in the first half. Hamilton down 2-0 last week before a 3-1 loss to Edgeworth, and Lambton were down 3-0 before a titanic comeback to win 4-3 against Western. So if we don't get the fireworks in the first half, the second half will not disappoint. Hamilton want to win this afternoon to get back in the winner's circle, and Lambton want to extend their winning streak to 6 and their undefeated run to 8. It's a huge game this afternoon on the home of grassroots sport, Bar TV. And joining me this afternoon is Blake Jarrett. And Blake, what are your thoughts on this game this afternoon?
Yeah, how you going, Ben? It's going to be a big game today here at Arthur Eden Oval. Second place, third, obviously, and there's going to be a lot of feeling in it. Both keepers swapped around. That was well documented at the start of the season. So we've got Danny Ireland playing for Hamilton at his old home ground, and Brad Swancott playing for Lambton, coming up against his old team. So he's at the comfort of his home ground today. So 2 very good keepers. So the attacking, both respective attacking front thirds will have to work very hard today. Hamilton will be boosted up front with the Swan boys playing either side of Kane Goodchild. So I can expect a couple of goals today for Hamilton. Obviously, both sides really need a win. A win for either of them will take them to first. Edgeworth will play tomorrow against Maitland at Cook Square Park. But there's a lot at stake here today, and they'll both want to get away from Western. Of course, Western playing today against the Jets Youth out at Rockwell Automation Park, and we will try and bring you live updates whenever we can get onto them as the match progresses.
Yeah, Western will want to get a win this week after last week's disappointment. I'll just run through the team lineups this afternoon for the home side, the Lambton Jaffas. Number 1 and in goals, Brad Swancott. Number 2, Tom Smart. Number 4, Kevin Davidson. Number 5, Pete McPherson. Number 6, Joe Wheelhouse. 7, Riley McNaughton. 8, Alex Palozzi. 10, John Majorowski. 11, Luke Remington. 12, Grant Brown. And 19, Michael Sessions. On the bench for them, 3, Michael Williams, 9, Michael Bridges, 17, Jamie Burns, and 20, Nate Cavalieri. There is still one more that we haven't got down, so we'll have to find out who that is. For Hamilton, number 1, Danny Ireland, number 3, Tom Davies, number 4, Kyle Hodges, number 6, Kane Goodchild, number 7, Simon Mooney, number 8, Jacob Bailey, number 9, Andrew Swan, number 10, Reese Cooper, number 12, Matt Swan, number 13, Mason Campbell. Number 15, Cody Lucas. And on the bench for them, number 14, Ben Coyner. Number 17, Pat Brown. Number 18, Alex Serapar. Number 19, Jason Korotic. And number 21, Josh Cox. So there's the lineups for this afternoon. I should say Jason Korotic. I've got to get that right. Got to get that pronunciation right. Both sides are on the field, and we're almost ready to get underway this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a big contest today for both sides, Ben. Some interesting stats I've got here ready for the game. Last year, the Jaffas were 4th on 18. They're now 3rd on 24, so they've improved in that department. As of Hamilton, last year they were 6th on 16, and they're far better now. They're 2nd on 25. Last year, the Jaffas had scored 25 and conceded 17. This year they've scored 29, which is better, and conceded 18. Last season, Hamilton had scored 20 and conceded 19. This year, they've scored 26 and conceded 15. So, better in both departments there as well.
Yeah, both. Well, Lambton, I should say, Hamilton's attacking took a little bit of a hit last week. They dropped down in goals scored. They've got an average this season, both these sides. Goals scored, Lambton 2.4. Hamilton 2.2, goals conceded, Lambton a little bit higher, 1.5, and Hamilton 1.3. So pretty even in that department.
Yeah, both sides have a goal difference of 11 too. So with the balance of their attack and defence over the course of the 12 games this season has been very good. So today should be a very interesting match.
So underway in round 13 of the NPL this afternoon. You'll probably be able to hear behind me the Hamilton under-22s team. They won 2-1 over Lambton this afternoon. So they've started their team song already. It's Tom Davies with a free kick for Hamilton on this near side. Puts it into the middle. They rise. Swancott comes out with a punch and an early whistle from the referee. Blake, I was doing park run this morning, and the referee out there, I saw him run past me this morning. I didn't know if he recognised me, but I definitely recognised him. As Swancott with that free kick. Good to see him keeping fit. Needs to if he's refereeing in the NPL. Ball chips forward, trying to get it over to Remington. Danny Island should get out. He doesn't claim it. And it's going to be an early corner kick here to the Lambton Jaffas. Thought Danny Island had grabbed hold of that one, but just couldn't get there in time. Former Lambton keeper returning to Arthur Eden Oval for the first time since last year. Would have been, well, when would have been the last time he'd been here? Would have been the preliminary final against the Jets youth.
Last time we were here.
Last time Danny Island was at Arthur Eden Oval.
Last time. Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been definitely the last time Danny Island was at Arthur Eden Oval. Sorry, Ben, I wasn't really listening to you there. I was trying to find some space for myself to get a good view of the game.
It's not the greatest commentary position here. We're sort of ducking and it's hard to see. Here is
Simon Mooney with a bit of a runaway looking for Matt Swan, but couldn't find him and cleared there by Alex Palozzi.
Alex Palozzi with 5 goals this season for Lambton. He's been somewhat of a revelation this year as Matt Swan getting after it. Swancott gets up and gets ahead of Brad Swancott going for a run. Got the ball nicely to Luke Remington. Goes down this near side. Keeps it in and goes back to Wheelhouse. Joe Wheelhouse scored a double last week. Luke Remington also grabbed one. Kane Goodchild trying to nod it forward. Here's Goodchild. Swan back to Goodchild. Even though Hamilton did lose oh, there's a collision between Davies and came out and it was cleared away. Troubles there for Wheelhouse. Got cleaned up there by Davies. Definitely made a crack over here. Is it Blake? As it's now with Swan on that far side. Matt Swan back this week after a hamstring injury. Was that correct, Blake? That he was out for last week's game? I think you may have said hamstring last week, so we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Free kick now going the way of Hamilton, just inside their own half. So just over, almost 4 minutes gone in this one this afternoon. It's Lambton and Hamilton all locked up at 0-0.
Yeah, the reason I was a bit confused there was it was Andrew Swan last week that missed.
It was Andrew Swan
through the hamstring injury, but yeah, he's the one returning. Matt did play last week against Edgeworth.
Yeah, they looked so lackluster in that first half, didn't they, Blake? We spoke about it at the time. The atmosphere at the ground really was dead, but Hamilton just didn't turn up. They just weren't at the races last week.
Yeah, I'm watching you.
I think that's what Michael Bolt said, so I must have stole that off him.
Yeah, your post-match interview with Bolchi, he said that they didn't turn up to the races, and that's exactly right. I talked to a couple of their players during the week and just before the game today, and they were all the ones I talked to were pretty disappointed with their first half performance.
Well, here's a ball wide to Remington, and now it's back for Sessions, who we haven't seen on Bar TV in 2015. He was injured for the opening few rounds. What does he bring to Lambton, Michael Sessions?
Yeah, a lot of strength. It's the backbone of the defence in there. Run to the grand final last year, and he put a lot of fear in the attackers that he comes up against. But I don't think that'll be the case today against Kane Goodchild.
Well, there's Danny Island with the free kick downfield. Well, I think that was a major reason why, and this is the stat that is surprising this year compared to last year, as Grant Brown gets around Andrew Swan and goes down that right-hand side. They kept 8 clean sheets, the Jaffas, last year. This year they've only kept once. Or they've only kept a clean sheet once. And that was against South Cardiff a few weeks ago, 5-0 win out
5-0,
there.
that was a big win, wasn't it?
Yeah, so in terms of defensively, I think the hole that Sessions has left, it's been a tough one for them to cover in the opening few rounds. As it's now with Palozzi, who's looking for Grant Brown down that right-hand side. He puts it in, back post, but it's going to go over the byline and end up being a goal kick for Danny Island.
For Danny Island, just as you just said. Him, as you mentioned before, back on his home ground, be a very clean sheet for his new club, Hamilton Olympic.
Well, there was a I think the last time these two sides met, which was a 1-1 draw. Both sides' 6th match of the year, 1-1 at Darling Street on a Wednesday night. We were at South Cardiff Charlestown that week, so we didn't see that one, but a very tight one. Brad Swancott, of course, it was all made up to be the two keepers coming up against each other, Brad Swancott and Danny Island, switching clubs. And Brad Swancott played for Western in 2004, Lake Macquarie 2011 and Hamilton in 2013-14. And he also had a stint at Sydney, no, not at Sydney Olympic, he had a stint at Manly. The man who I'm thinking of that played for Sydney Olympic was Pete McPherson. But it's funny, there's a few Lake Macquaries here. 2013, Pete McPherson was at Lake Macquarie. And Brad Swancott, of course. They had a very strong side a few years ago, Lake Macquarie.
Yeah, they're down in the new FM League, aren't they now? Fighting to get promoted to come back in 2016.
Yeah, it's been interesting this year with the new FM, how close it's been. Just got an injury. I might try and check that up, how everything's going in the new FM League. Hopefully we can get some scores from that other game this afternoon, which is Western taking on the Jets Youth. What are your thoughts on that one? Who do you think will get the job done in that one?
I expect Western to. It'll be a great game. Both sides play some quality football, and the Jets Youth will be high following a win last week, their first in 6 games. But I think Western will be a lot hungrier. They're playing to keep themselves in the top 4, and they're playing to regain, maybe not respect isn't the right word, but to avenge for their poor performance in the second half last week here against the Jaffas, where they conceded 4 to give up a 3-0 halftime lead.
And they lost 1-0 actually to the Jets youth. So we've still got this injury over on that far side. Is it Grant Brown over there that's down? Luke Remington's there. So I believe it is Grant Brown. But just having a look at New FM while we can. Valentine are up the top on 35 points. Lake Macquarie have 2 games in hand on them. They're in 31, and then Wallsend on 30. So it looks like it's going to be a battle between those two for the remainder of the season. Looking forward to seeing that, Blake. Yeah, so Valentine, it is Grant Brown that is coming off. And, well, we're going to see an early change here for Lambton.
Now it's back to normal, but
Left leg it looks to be. And who you thinking Michael Williams will have to go on? Their defender on the bench for Lambton. Just while Grant Brown comes off, Blake, New FM was Valentine 35 points, 15 games, and Lake Macquarie 31 points, 13 games. So they got 2 games in hand on Valentine, Lake Macquarie, and they're only 4 points behind. So I think it's going to be a battle between those two for the remainder of the season. 22 games in that one as Micah Williams heads onto the ground. And Grant Brown comes off. This is his first year with Lambton after came through the Mariners Academy as Brad Swancott punches this one over towards the sideline. Riley McNaughton now puts it down the line for Remington. Does well, Luke Remington. Gets around Reece Cooper. He's very quick. One of the fastest players in the competition, Remington. Now he plays it to Williams. Williams down this left or near side. Tom Davies putting a bit of pressure on him. And that's a throw going the way of Lambton. So I believe it may be a little bit of concussion for Grant Brown. That's why he's come to the bench for the Jaffas. Cross now Palozzi down the line for Wheelhouse, and it's come off Cody Lucas on that far side, and Lambton over the sideline. A little bit of a stop-start early few moments, Blake, but what have you made of the opening 10? As Danny Island makes a wonderful save.
Yeah, it was a brilliant save there. Danny Island diving to his left. That ball roll out for a corner, but yeah, it's been a good opening 10 minutes. Obviously, we had a bit of a stoppage there for that injury, but both sides have really turned up today. Been talked about that neither side turned up for the first half last week, did they? Lambton went down 3-0 to Western, and Hamilton were pretty poor against Edgy, so both of them will be looking for a big first half performance today.
Yeah, definitely a lot more intensity out there than we saw last week in that Edgeworth-Hamilton game. As the ball now played across, it's with Swan. It's Andrew Swan on the ball. Looking for Reece Cooper, didn't quite get it. Wheelhouse now. Cross to this near side. Michael Sessions on the ball. Back to Wheelhouse. Still with Joe Wheelhouse. Goes back to Michael Williams. Beautiful day out here at Arthur Eden Oval. Tomorrow's meant to be freezing, 14 degrees, so I'm enjoying this warmer weather in winter. 12 and a half minutes gone in this one. And still 0-0 out here at Arthur Eden Oval. Goes back to Hodges. Looking for Reece Cooper. Wheelhouse all over him there, and the free kick goes the way of Hamilton. Now with Swan. Back to Kyle Hodges. Now for Reece Cooper. And Goodchild on the ball. All the way back to Andrew Swan and over the top. And his head in over there was It's Kevin Davidson. Kevin Davidson is, I had a double take. He's shaved his long locks off, and very hard to pick him out there, number 4 for the Lambton Jaffas this afternoon. So the ball goes over the top. Williams heads it back to Swan. Michael Williams, his first year at the Jaffas after he came through the Jets youth system, as Remington takes it down that left-hand sideline again. It's been a problem for Hamilton all afternoon. I should say not all afternoon, but for the 13 and a half minutes we've played. So a corner now for Lambton. So here's the corner, back post. It's with McNaughton, the shot. It's cleared away off the line by Hamilton. Swan knocks it up the ground. Stays inside. Sessions plays it back to Williams. Back over towards Palozzi, but going in front of Goodchild. He did well. Palozzi turns beautifully and gets away from Kane Goodchild. Gets away from Davies now, and he squares it to Majerowski. Away to Joe Wheelhouse. Can't control it first time, but gets it back now. It's away from Mooney and now squares it to Williams on this near side of the ground. Back to Sessions. Been intercepted there by Jacob Bailey, scored last week for Hamilton. One of the Jaffas players down again. This is with Swan on that left-hand side. Brings it back for Simon Mooney. Mooney swing it in towards Goodchild. Couldn't get enough on the end of it. And it's going to be a goal kick for Swancott. Still one of the Jaffas players down over on that far side. It's Tom Smart that's down, just on halfway. Wheelhouse trying to get on the end of it. Then Cooper flicking it over the top for Goodchild, but Davidson gets back and plays it back to Swancott, who played 25 games in the NSL for the Newcastle Breakers. Tom Smart now on that far side with the throw. Looks for Palozzi. Alex Palozzi controls and turns nicely. Plays to Majerowski, who tried to flick it over the top. And in the end, Palozzi's on the end. He volleys it straight to Ireland, but it was a free kick going the way of Hamilton anyway. And 16 and a half gone. Lambton and Hamilton 0-0 early on in the first half here this afternoon on Bar TV. Big afternoon of sport. We've got the AFL, the league and the union all going live this afternoon. Normally the soccer on a Sunday, but Lambton Jaffas play their home games on a Saturday, or a majority of them on a Saturday. Do you know any reason why that is, Blake, while they play on the Saturday?
No, I wouldn't have a clue. I knew a couple of years ago it was because there was some representative games played here on Sundays, but I'm not too sure if that's still the case or why they do play on Saturdays.
As Tom Smart goes after it, Hodges clearing it over towards the sideline on that far side of the ground, but Mooney keeps it in. Swan looking across for his brother, but Palozzi intercepts. Have you got any scores from that game between Western and the Jets youth, which is up at Rockwell Automation Park this afternoon?
Not yet, but I'll have a quick look now and try and find some. I'll get back to you in about a minute.
It's cleared away again at the back there by Mason Campbell. And Swan's away down the left-hand side for Hamilton. He squares it back for Mooney. Tries to get away from two Jaffas players, and the referee gives the free kick. Didn't look to be too much in it, but the free kick goes Hamilton's way, and it's in a decent position. Probably about 10 metres inside their attacking half. Maybe a little bit more. And Mason Campbell standing over it for Olympic. There we go, chips it forward towards Jacob Bailey. Just probably put a little bit too much on it, but Kevin Davison has to put it over the byline, and it is a corner kick for Hamilton now. Swan coming over to take it. So Swan puts it in, back post. Swancott goes down, and in the end, it just goes over the goal line.
Yeah, there's been 17 minutes played out at Rockwell Automation Park, and it's still 0-0 between the Jets Youth and Western.
As we said at the start of the game, it was 1-0 to the Jets. Jets Youth last time they played up there on that really wet game. The only match that went ahead in round 4 it was. Round 4, the only game that went ahead on the Saturday. Palozzi now, still with it. Alex Palozzi now with Wheelhouse across to this left-hand side. Williams, can he cut it back? Still with Michael Williams, he does so. Well kept out in the end by Kyle Hodges. And now to the Reese Cooper. He's another one of these really quick players on the ground, both him and Luke Remington. Two quickest players for both these sides. Stabbed forward. Mason Campbell gets up with the head. Looking for Swan on this, Andrew Swan on this near side. Now with Cody Lucas. Putting it toward over halfway. Over on that far side of the ground now. Tom Smart going back. Swan putting some pressure on him. And another free kick going Hamilton's way. So 20 minutes gone now. Still 0-0. Hamilton really haven't created too many chances, just like last week, Blake. They're really struggling. We saw straight after half time they came out and created plenty. Once again this week they're just struggling to put Lambton under pressure. It's really been Lambton doing all the running in the opening 20.
Yeah, it reminds you a bit of what Magic did about a month ago, doesn't it? They were cruising at the top of the table, doing it pretty easy in terms of attacking, as Hamilton have been. They went through a little patch where they were a bit flat in the front third, and now that's what Hamilton seem to be doing, but it's only 20 minutes in, so there's a long way yet to go in this game.
Tom Davies now towards Mason Campbell. Well, in saying that Hamilton were playing really well, in terms of goals scored, the only times they'd scored more than 2 goals this season was 4-2 over Charlestown, 5-2 over South Cardiff. So to the two sides that sit last and second last on the ladder, and the other time was a 3-1 win against Western, as Swan gets in there and clears it away. So really they don't get more than 2 goals a game, just those couple of times against South Cardiff and Charleston, who are low down on the ladder, and Lambton have done so as well, whereas in comparison Lambton have scored a few 3s, a 5. They've had a few 1-alls, but Lambton's scores have been very varied compared to Hamilton, which have pretty much always scored 2 goals a game. Tom Smart getting in, and another free kick goes against Lambton on that far side of the ground. Smart on Swan. And even though Hamilton lost last week, they still have the statistic alive in the last 2 seasons. They've kept it alive. Well, Kane Goodchild has kept it alive in that the side he's played for hasn't lost when he's scored in the last 2 years. Now with Swan backing up the ground. Now with Mooney with a volley. Swan caught a little fumble, but there was no pressure on him, so he could easily regather. And we've just gone over halfway in the first half here on Bar TV. 0-0 between Lambton and Hamilton. Second versus third on the ladder. Another free kick to Hamilton, and thought we may have been going to see a card, not so. Blake, another thing I was looking at during the week was the home and away tables for both these sides. both Hamilton, as this free kick goes into the area, Swancourt comes out and takes it. Both Hamilton and Lambton are second and third in the home tables. On the away table, Hamilton are third and Lambton fifth. So both these sides have grabbed most of their points when they've been at home. So Lambton probably have the advantage in that regard today.
Yeah,
Joe Wheelhouse down that right-hand side.
Just looking at their last 6 games, the Jaffas have won 2 at home and had a draw in their 3. And Hamilton, the same, two wins and a draw. So both have taken 7 from 9 at home in their last 3 games.
Yeah, this season... Oh, sorry, you go, Blake.
Yeah, the last 6 games, so for both sides, so 12 combined. There's only 1 loss between them out there, and that was last week for Hamilton against Edgeworth. There's been 2 draws, and then there was 9 wins, so both go into today's game with some really good form. So it's been a fairly even first 25 minutes. It's been a little bit slow, so hopefully the game will start heating up soon.
Yeah, Lambton have really turned it on since an early season run of form, which wasn't all that great. They, of their first 5 matches, they had 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw against Broadmeadow Magic. So those losses against Western, that game we did, they lost in the last few minutes, and then Edgeworth, we did that one as well, 2-1. As now it's flicked on by Goodchild, looking for Mooney. Challenge from Sessions, he won the ball, but Mooney's in trouble. Still on the ground, Simon Mooney. They're going to put it out. They're thinking about it. It goes back to Swancourt. Mooney's still not up, but Swancourt looks long. And Lucas with the header. Yeah, 2015 Lambton have played... Hamilton have played 6 games away for the 3 wins, 2 draws and a loss, and at home, Hamilton have played 6, 4 wins and 2 draws. They haven't been beaten. Both of these sides haven't been beaten at home so far this season. So they're making their home grounds a fortress.
Yeah, and talking about haven't been beaten, Lambton haven't been beaten at all by Hamilton in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I saw that as well. That's an incredible record.
Yeah, there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games between them. The Jaffas have won. Let me have a look.
A couple of those losses, those 1-1 draws in the finals, that was 2 weeks. 2 weeks apart, those matches, so that would have been in the finals.
Yeah, that was a semi-final, and then the game to get into the grand final.
That's incredible. Hamilton would have been absolutely gutted. 2 1-1 draws with Lambton, and then losing on penalties both times, twice in the space of a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so in 2013, Lambton enjoyed 4 wins over Hamilton. 2 of those, as you just said, in penalty shootouts after draws in the finals. Then in 2014, there was 1 draw and Jaffas 4-0 win, and then back in the 20th of May between these sides, a 1-1 draw.
As it's back now from McPherson, back towards Riley McNaughton. And for Sessions on this near side, looking down the line, Tom Davies is going to run back, and he slips over Tom Davies, and then Remington sort of slips over as well, and Davies winning the ball. Sessions on the ball. Back to Majorowski. Williams. Turning Michael Williams. And back for Hamilton and up the line again. Tom Davies putting his boot through it. Over the sideline, and the throw will go the way of Lambton. Over the top looking for Remington. Majorowski. Still going John Majorowski. Cuts one back, but it's going to it's come off a Hamilton player, and it's going to be a corner kick. But Luke Remington, Lambton are really attacking Hamilton down their right edge defence or their left side. Any ideas why that would be in terms of Hamilton's defence, or are they more or less using Luke Remington's pace?
I think it's more Luke Remington's pace, not just his pace, but his skill as well and his execution than Hamilton's right side defence.
Well, here's the corner. looking back post. Ireland knocking it away and over the sideline. Turning was McNaughton. He knocks it back post. Majorowski's there. Couldn't get on the end of it. He went close. There was a lot of shirt tugging going on in the 18 to hold him off it. Polozzi going back, putting the head across. He played wonderfully in the Jets youth and early games in the season. It is Simon Mooney with a break for Hamilton. He hits the post. Oh, well. Simon Mooney getting away. Hamilton's first great opportunity for the game. And the post has been Hamilton's worst enemy in the last few weeks. Kane Goodchild did it last week, just as they were getting back into the game against Edgeworth. And again, Simon Mooney, he had Brad Swancott beaten. And into the post on the far post. Game seems to have just livened up a little bit. Here's Reece Cooper cutting one across. Well headed away in the end by McNaughton, who flies across to put the pressure on Cody Lucas, who puts it back into the 18, but straight to Brad Swancott. Six goals for Simon Mooney this year. Seven goals for Kane Goodchild. And 13 goals last year for Kane Goodchild. There's it all over the top. Tom Davies heading back. Remington putting the pressure on him. There's a bit of cloud cover over the ground. Bit of relief for the players out there for the moment from the sun. Warm day here in Lambton. Back to Davidson. Probably see the stadium in the background where the local sides play. The Jets and the Knights. Swancott now. Across to Kevin Davidson. Remington now. Back to Majorowski, who goes long range, but didn't get off the ground really, and Danny Ireland lets it roll on by.
Just out at Rockwell Automation Park, the Jets youth have gone ahead 1-0 thanks to a goal from Ben Hay.
Ben Hay, I think he scored a few this year. Scored a couple.
Yeah, he's a good defending left back, but he gets forward and got a good shot on him as well.
So Western, they'll be gutted after last week, so see if they can lift themselves off the canvas. But that's exactly what Western like to do. As the ball goes over the top. And have you heard anything about Nick Thompson? We saw that game a few weeks ago. Oh, it wasn't a few weeks, probably a month ago now. Edgeworth and Western, where Nick Thompson was knocked out.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. I was sitting at home watching that after just getting off a flight. So, no, I haven't heard anything unusual. I think I've seen him walking up and about since. So I think he'll be right. He's a tough boy, Tomo. So we'll take a lot more than that to keep him down.
Yeah, Gary Fisher was at that game. That's right. I forgot Carl Thornton with a great goal. As Kane Goodchild down the box. He's been held onto, but he gets away. Gee, they just kept him running and running. Simon Mooney's had his hand tugged by Williams, trying to keep him away. The Lambton defence all over Kane Goodchild there. It's Polozzi now, looking for Majorowski. Back to Polozzi. Two came at him, and he wins the free kick. Kyle Hodges and Jacob Bailey sandwiching him in between them. Williams now. Up the line. Looking for Remington again. Tom Davies. Now for Cooper. Back to Mason Campbell. Ireland at the back. Goes across to Lucas. Now for Goodchild. Knocking one over the top. And we've got an offside against Hamilton. So Lambton get a free kick just inside their own half. Haven't seen your notepad filling up today, Blake. Really, that chance from Mooney, that's about as close as we've come to a goal this afternoon.
Yeah, no, hasn't been much going on. It's been a bit of a battle in the midfield. Both teams turning over a lot of ball in there as well.
So Joe Wheelhouse goes quickly with a free kick to Palozzi. Down the line, Swan did well with the challenge and won the ball. Andrew Swan. Still with Swan, he gets a little bit of a shove from Palozzi and wins Hamilton the free kick. So almost 34 minutes gone this afternoon here at Arthur Eden Oval. Lambton Jaffas at home to Hamilton. It's 0-0. Hamilton trying to get through again. They've got through just that one time through Simon Mooney, but they've looked threatening in terms of trying to, with those through balls, getting through the Lambton back four. Tom Smart, Kevin Davidson, Michael Sessions and Michael Williams. Grant Brown coming off early in the game with concussion, we believe it was, so he won't be back. Subbed off the field. Riley McNaughton up the ground. Headed on by Wheelhouse to Majorowski. Holds up the ball beautifully. As always, Majorowski, Danny Ireland flying out of his area. He saw Luke Remington taking on Tom Davies and thought, I better get out and knock that one up the ground. And he does very, very well. And over on that far side now, a throw for Palozzi. John Majorowski. Back to McPherson. Another free kick to Lambton. Just inside their attacking half now. Alex Palozzi coming to this near sideline. Just probably saw him coming across screen. Got some blood coming out of his mouth, so get that all cleaned up. How much do you know about Alex Palozzi's brother? We'll just see what this free kick. Hayden Palozzi, not playing today, but he's been in the Jaffas squad this season.
Yeah, he copped a bit of an injury in the last game. He came off early. He used to play in the Youth Jets back in 2013 before coming to the Jaffas. I played against him. He was in the team that played in the under-19s. They did really well. They got to the grand final, I think. No, they didn't. I don't know. Don't remember. But yeah, very good player, very strong, and a good finisher like his brother.
Cross now to that far side. Alex Palozzi playing for Edgeworth in 2013. He came across to Lambton. Are they still... I haven't heard much about the player point system this year. Are they still using that in the NPL?
Yeah, they sure are. I don't know how it works or any of the details behind it, but I know you can only have a certain amount. The newly promoted clubs get 30 more points as well than the rest of the clubs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I saw last year there was a lot of talk about Lambton. They were just under it. They signed Palozzi, Kevin Davidson, and Pete McPherson as well in 2014. So they were 249 out of the 250. So they used their points perfectly. Remington now away. Lambton, I should say Hamilton, getting plenty of men back to support Tom Davies. Matt Swan down this near side, taking on Lambton and putting a ball towards the middle where I think it runs straight to Swancott. Alex Palozzi looks like he's just about to come back onto the ground. He's on this near side, about to go back on. He's changed shirt, so he's now number 14, which is a jersey which I don't think Lambton have anyone down as. So he's got a bit of blood on his number 8. So he's come back on 14. Wheelhouse, bit of a shove on Swan. Free kick straight away going to Hamilton. Got cleaned up a few minutes ago, Alex Palozzi, by 2 players. I think it was Bailey and may have been Hodges as well. So that may have caused the injury, but he's back out there now. Michael Bridges on the bench for Lambton this afternoon, so should be coming on in the second half at some stage, you'd expect. There's Mooney now on that far side. Good challenge from Kevin Davidson. Played 2 years in the AIS in the National Youth League and for the under-17s Australian side in Turkey. And he was, as I was just speaking about a moment ago, played for Adamstown in 2013, one of those signings Lambton made last year. Goes up the line. Tom Davies has a total air swing, but luckily for him, it runs over the byline. And it'll just be a goal kick for Danny Ireland with less than 6 minutes to go in regulation time in the first half at Arthur Eden Oval this afternoon. Those scores from earlier, the under-19s was 1-0 to Lambton, and under-22s, Hamilton won 2-1.
Yeah, very good for Hamilton in the 22s. They were fourth going into this round, trailing Lambton by 4 points, and Lambton was second, so they get a lot closer, and it does a lot for their finals hopes.
Yeah, that's going to compress that ladder a lot, so that'll be interesting to see. I think it was 25-21, wasn't it? Swan, Brad Swancott comes out, and Michael Sessions does well. Lambton on 25 points and Hamilton on 21.
So Hamilton are now on 24. And interesting in the under-19s too. Hamilton were cruising up there at the top with Western, and talking to their manager George Zukon just before this game, and he said that they've picked up 1 point out of a possible 9 in their last 3 games, so they're in a bit of a form slump as well.
Well, Western doing really well in the 19s. They're in first place on 30 points. Lambton back in 6th, and Hamilton, as you said, they're in 2nd now. So be interesting to see how that shapes up near the end of the season. Western have been going pretty well in all forms. I've been seeing on Facebook the amount of wins they've been having in the under 13s, 14s, 15s, and 17s. Had some clean sweeps in that regard.
Yeah, they're undefeated out there in the under 19s. I don't know how they went today against the Jets, but going into this round, they won 9 and had 3 draws.
Wow. That's terrific from Western.
Yeah, the goal difference, as you look there, is 25. They've scored 37 and only conceded 12, so that's amazing too.
And funnily enough, Broadbent and Magic have only conceded 10, so it's not even the best events in the competition. So Broadbent, as you'd expect, doing well in most of the grades. Is now with McNaughton, who goes long range, and he only just missed the top right corner. That would have been a special strike. Really just the game just plodding along the second half. That's really the only way you'd expect the deadlock to be broken. Just a quick chance. No side really creating too much pressure. Danny Ireland. Flick on there from Goodchild. Those flick-ons from Goodchild towards Simon Mooney. I'm thinking if sides don't watch out for them, they could be in a spot of bother. You'd almost consider having someone just a little bit deeper. Maybe someone in the sweeper role when you're coming up against Simon Mooney, because he is so quick up front.
Yeah, would be a good option, but the other flip of the coin, if you give him a bit of space to drift in behind, he could beat you in a foot race, so could be a bit of a bad choice as well, but it would be a very good idea, I think.
It'd be, yeah, I think really you've just got to win the ball and don't let Goodchild get a little tap on. I think that's stop at the cause of the issue. As it's flicked up the ground. Turning around on the ball was Pete McPherson. Played one A-League game for the Jets in a 5-1 loss to Perth. That's not a great side for you to come up against as a Jets player. They don't have a great record against Perth. I'm thinking that was over in Perth.
I don't really think they have a great record against anyone, do they?
Well, definitely not this year, as here goes Goodchild. He's away, comes to Swancott. He gets around him, Goodchild, but he just went a little bit too far, and it goes over the goal line. That's probably summed up the first half. Swancott now with the goal kick. Just couldn't quite reel it in. Did well to get around Swancott. But put too heavier a touch on it. And Swancott goes up the ground. Palozzi just nodding it on. Kyle Hodges now. Aerial ping pong in the middle of the ground, and Hamilton end up with the free kick. 44 minutes now gone in the first half. Lambton 0, Hamilton 0 at Arthur Eden Oval. Stadium there in the background. Hunter Stadium, as you can see, as Wheelhouse gets up. And now with Mason Campbell. Goes to Matt Swan. Still with Matt Swan. Pete McPherson all over him. Mason Campbell over the top for Mooney. Just couldn't control. Just hit him on the back of the head. Probably came a little bit quicker than what he thought. A Swan now on the ball. Back to Mason Campbell, the captain for Hamilton. Over the top now to Mooney. Mooney gets away. Oh, and Swancott saves it between his legs.
Yeah, it's 2 quality balls out from Mason Campbell. And the second one, Mooney made a bit of a better chance out of than he did in the first one. But a very good save there from Swancott.
Well, Kevin Davidson just bounced awkwardly. He just couldn't get on the end of it, and almost gave Simon Mooney, well, he did give Simon Mooney a chance to put Hamilton in front right on half-time as Riley McNaughton now down the right-hand side, but it'll go over the goal line, and now it's going to be a corner kick for Lambton late on in the piece, 20 seconds into stoppage time in the first half. We'll probably have a little bit because Grant Brown, that injury took a few minutes out of the game, so will be a little bit more stoppage time than what you'd normally get in the first half. As Remington back to Palozzi, putting it in towards the middle of the box. Mason Campbell heads it clear. Swan runs down. Michael Williams is just going to let it run to Brad Swancott. Sessions getting up with Tom Davies. Campbell again up the ground. Pete McPherson tracks across. And goes over the sideline. Give the throw to Michael Williams on this near sideline. Up the line, John Majorowski going after Kyle Hodges as it goes back to Danny Ireland. Reese Cooper. Now to Campbell. And we've got a free kick going Lambton's way. Hamilton fans not impressed next to us. Right before the break as we tick over now to the 47th minute.
I just don't understand how that was a free kick to Lambton. That was a very strange call.
I didn't actually see. I just heard the reaction and assumed weren't impressed at all. The Hamilton faithful just to the left of our commentary position, a Wheelhouse. Now to McNaughton. Alex Palozzi just couldn't get on the end of it. Number 14 on his back now after having to change it after involved in a collision. Bit of blood coming from his mouth. And over the sideline, that far side. And that is half-time. So just the 2.5 minutes of stoppage time in the first half. To be honest, not the greatest first half we've seen all season, and it's Lambton 0, Hamilton 0 at half-time. What were your thoughts on the first half, Blake?
Yeah, I agree with what you just said. Don't have much written down here in terms of match facts, but we've talked a bit in this first half about how both teams last week had poor first half, so let's hope that's it, the same as this week, and they'll come out and produce a much better second half.
Well, just quickly before we go to half-time, that Grant Brown injury, it was concussion, so he's come off the ground, so he's all right, which is good news. So 47.5, I should say, 0 at the end of the first half, and we will catch you back here in a few. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, just out. Rockwell Automation Park. Western Bears have scored a goal just before half time through Paul Clout, so it's 1-1 out there against the Newcastle Jets youth.
The Kiwi. Is he a Kiwi, Paul Clout?
Yeah, he is.
So the Kiwi gets on the board for Western. So 1-1 out there, 0-0 here. We'll be back in a few minutes with the second half.
Real Guys, Real Sport, Bar TV.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.
Hello and welcome back to the second half. It's Lambton taking on Hamilton on Bar TV this afternoon. 0-0 at half-time. We're just about to get underway. John Majorowski looks like he's having a little bit of a joke with the referee. Riley McNaughton as well in the centre circle. And Blake, I think I said in the preview, both these two sides last week, their first halves were deplorable. Let's hope the second half is going to be exciting. So if both sides play as well as they did last week in the second half, it's going to be a great second 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't forget how Hamilton came out in the second half last week, so let's hope that they can do that again. And Lambton Jaffas scored 4 goals in the second half last week against Western, so hoping for a big 45 minutes here.
Well, I think we just need a goal just to spice things up a little bit, and it always changes things when you've got a goal because one side has to get themselves back into the game. So we'll see what can happen early on in the second half. I think we'll pray we don't get a 0-0 draw. Did you get any 0-0 draws last year on Bar TV?
Oh, not that I can remember. Most memorable game that we talked about a couple of times was a cracker where Hamilton lost 5-1 to Lakes.
Yeah, Lake Macquarie. That was a massive upset.
We had a couple of good games out at Western. 2-1 there, or maybe it was 1-1 that the Jets equalised to win the first place. So I don't remember any 0-0s.
I know it's sort of halfway through the season to reminisce, but in the last 2 years you've been doing some commentary for Bar TV. Which has been the best match that you've covered? We've had a few crackers this year, but as Majorowski goes on a run, we'll just see what happens here with John Majorowski. Hits it. Island takes it nicely. We had that game, Western Magic this year, 4-3.
Yeah, that would have to be up there. I think that Lake Macquarie against Hamilton one would have been up there as well. And then I think my best bet would be, I think it was the preliminary final, if I've said that right, where I think it was the Jaffas beats, or Western beat, the Jets Youth 4-3 here. No, it was obviously the Jaffas if it was here.
Yeah, It must have been the first week of the finals or something like that.
4-3. Oh, would have been
second week.
The second, yeah, because the Jets Youth had the first week off of the finals after coming first. That was an absolute cracker. I remember Mike Finlayson scored a real good goal and celebrated it with a bit of a backflip that you see in the NPL ads on NBN. Yeah, that was a real good game, and Brandon Lundy also got a cracking goal in that one as well.
Well, speaking of backflips, Luke Remington did a pretty good job of one in the 2011 Under-17s World Cup when Australia drew 1-1 with Denmark. In that one, they got through from that goal, 89th minute, levelled it up, really against the run of play in that game. Denmark really dominated the young Aussie side, but they went on to lose 4-0 to Uzbekistan, I believe it was. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was Uzbekistan. It's Joe Wheelhouse squaring it to Pete McPherson. Squaring it across to Williams. And this year the final series working a little bit differently. We've got the top 4 and we have 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, and they just play a first and second leg, and then the 2 winners of those matches go through to the grand final, which I don't know who is hosting it this year. Have you heard who was it? Jack McLaughlin last year?
Broadmeadow.
Broadmeadow are hosting. So do they alternate? Do they? It's Goodchild chasing, going after it. Kane Goodchild, he's got space in front of him. Still with Goodchild, tries to put it past Swancott, and again Brad Swancott saves the day for Lambton. Looks just to be a little bit injured. Well, Brad Swancott thwarting his old side again there with another great save. Is now Riley McNaughton after it. Getting back was Cody Lucas, calling for a handball. Referee says play on, and Hodges knocks it over the sideline right on halfway. And Blake, I tell you what's going to be a hard thing for you to do this afternoon is come up with a man of the match.
Yeah, I was thinking that. To be honest, my man of the match so far is Brad Swancott.
Yeah, I'll have to agree. Yeah, that is. That's right. He's been the standout. I think really you've got to look at the defensive options today. They don't really get to mention the defenders and the goalkeepers normally in matches. Normally the attackers that get all the credit. So, there's a handball there from Cody Lucas.
Yeah, well, that Western game, who we give the man of the match to in that Western game? Versus when they beat Magic, it was. No, we didn't have a man of the match in that game.
We didn't have one, but I'm pretty sure we may have come up with. We said someone was very good. I think it was Jamie Subat or Gary McDermott.
The Edgeworth game. That's what I was about to say. The
Tim
Edgeworth
Pratt.
game I meant. Edgeworth versus Magic.
Keanu Moore.
Keanu Moore. But we were thinking about giving it to Ben Higgins, weren't we? Because he played a tremendous game, that one.
That was one of the games of his one of the games of his life, Ben Higgins, that afternoon. That would have been an awful feeling after that one, as Michael Sessions knocks the free kick straight to Danny Ireland, and Danny Ireland looks to play it on quickly, but doesn't do so. Knocks it up the ground, and Tom Davies now looking for Goodchild. Tries to hold it up, and over the sideline it goes. Got some attacking options on the bench: Blake Lambton, Jamie Burns, and Michael Bridges.
Yeah, very good options there for the Jaffas. I'm sure that they'll use both of them, especially if the score stays like this.
Well, they've got
Huck and Carlton's a grand final winner with Broadmeadows, so they've got a lot of choice on the bench. Obviously, they can only use two after bringing on Michael Williams for Grant Brown.
He played in the Australian futsal team that went to Belarus earlier in the year with Matt Hould at Huck and Carnley. As ball over towards this near side. Swan going up and controlling it nicely. Cross to Lucas. Down the line looking for Jacob Bailey, but Pete McPherson just got there in time. And Mason Campbell will knock this one back to Danny Ireland. Pete McPherson played for Sydney Olympic as well. Of course, as we said in the first half, one game for the Jets and Sydney Olympic and, of course, Lake Macquarie in 2013. Swancott putting it over the sideline, and Hamilton with a chance to apply some pressure now. McNaughton squaring it for McPherson. Looks for Alex Palozzi. Took a while to get to him. Still with Alex Palozzi. Tries to get, he does do really well to get around Lucas. It's a shot which just fizzes wide, and Danny Ireland will have the goal kick. So Lambton just creating a little bit of an opening there. But Danny Ireland probably had it covered at the near post. So he'll have the goal kick, and we come up now to 53 minutes gone in this one this afternoon. Lambton and Hamilton at 0-0. 1-1 at the other game. That was the latest score we had, Blake. I don't think there's been any change. Paul Clout getting the goal to make it 1-1 at Western. Danny Ireland sprinting out. And Swan throwing it away from Tommy Smart just to waste a little bit of time. A little bit of gamesmanship from Andrew Swan. Now for Tom Smart. Goes to Matt Jurowski. He looked back for McPherson, but Jacob Bailey got his foot in. And Tom Davies now over on that far side. Just nodding it onto himself and taking the Jaffas on. Puts it towards the middle of the box. Kevin Davidson with the header. Wheelhouse. Now for Riley McNaughton. Riley McNaughton coming up through the Jaffas youth system as Palozzi now. Tom Davies and Luke Remington having a little one-on-one battle over on that far side. Jacob Bailey, and now Reese Cooper, and back to Swan. Matt Swan on that far side for Hamilton. Back to Mooney. Mason Campbell. Swan again. Playing it back to Davies and now for Ireland. Goodchild just couldn't get on the end of it, but Mooney trying to knock it over towards Goodchild, who gets on the end of it. Sessions and him have had a good battle this afternoon. If Sessions going to win it off him in the end, he does really well, Michael Sessions. Wins that little battle with Kane Goodchild. And now with Campbell. Hodges. Bringing it across to this near side now for Lucas. Up the line for Mooney. Simon Mooney turning around. Free kick goes to Hamilton, so a decent position here for them. The overcast skies just creeping over Lambton. Over Newcastle as a whole as ball puts in to the 18. McNaughton now. Chipping it up and over the top and looking for Remington. It was a little bit wide, so we had to get across to this right side, but now he's got Campbell. He turns Remington, tries to hit the shot. Got a powerful left foot shot and the volley there from McNaughton fading away to the right. And the score remains 0-0 after 56 minutes in this one. Majorowski now. Kyle Hodges. Needs some pressure on him now. Bailey, Swan. Nice close control from Hamilton. Mooney going down that left side. Referee calling it back for a free kick for the home side, Lambton. Sessions now. Cross to Williams. Now down the line for Remington. Mason Campbell just shadowing him over on that far side. Still Remington. Gets to the 18. Squares it now for Palozzi. Still to Alex Palozzi. Hits the shot. Lambton creating some chances now in the second half. Just goes wide of Danny Ireland's goal. Alex Palozzi playing his early football coming up through the New South Wales Institute. As it's now his Sessions on that far side, goes to ground. Free kick going Lambton's way. What have you made of the early exchanges on the first 13 of the second half?
Yeah, Jaffas have really got it over Hamilton here, don't they? It's been a better start to the second half than it was to the first. We've had a couple of chances. We've seen Remington, McNaughton and Palozzi all off target early on, but I expect to see a goal within the next 15 minutes, and I expect it to be from the Jaffas.
Yeah, they're definitely creating a lot more chances than Hamilton are, or definitely in the last few moments. Lambton, Remington stepping over it. Back to McPherson. Still McPherson turns and loses it now. Reece Cooper getting it knocked out from under him, so throw for Tom Davies. Looks like Hamilton may be about to make a change. Tackle there on Remington, but it's going to be a throw in the end just to Lambton. Jason Korotic coming to the sideline. Looks like he's about to go on. Played for North Lake Salvos in the Christian Churches League last year. There's the throw from McNaughton. Danny Island rising high, taking the mark beautifully. And throw it out. Looks for Cody Lucas on this near side now. Goes inside to Cooper. Still with Lucas. Challenge there. And Hamilton with the throw. And they're going to make their change now. And this Cody Lucas is coming off. And Jason Korotic going on. Looks like it's going to be an attacking move here from Hamilton, Blake.
Yeah, I'm assuming Andrew Swan's going to come back to left back. And Korotic will go in there somewhere centrally.
Reece Cooper. And now Michael Williams getting up, and now it's with Kane Goodchild. Down the right edge of the 18. Still with Goodchild, still with Kane Goodchild. Good tackle from Wheelhouse. It comes away to Cooper. Tries to put it back into the 18. But Remington has it now. A handball against Korotic. And Lambton have the free kick. Are they more attacking with Korotic up there and Andrew Swan dropping back to left back?
Definitely watch Andrew Swan get down this left-hand side with a bit more speed than Cody Lucas did. And I think Korotic is a great attacking option for Olympic.
Jamie Burns going on now against the side he played for at the start of the season, and it's John Majorowski coming off the ground. John Majorowski also playing in the NSL for the Breakers, coming from to the sideline. Now for Tommy Smart. Palozzi. Back to McPherson. Again for Palozzi. Back to McPherson again. Going down this skinny right side. Kevin Davidson. Swancott again. Riley McNaughton with some space in front of him. Goes away to Burns. Still with Jamie Burns. Jacob Bailey. Now for Mooney and Korotic. And now across. Looking in the end for this near side for Matt Swan. Wheelhouse. McPherson. Jamie Burns on the ball. Trying to stab one through. He'll bring a bit of speed to this Lambton Jaffas front line. Jamie Burns with John Majorowski going off, so we're looking for some balls through for him. Tom Davies. Now for Reece Cooper. Still with Reece Cooper, getting around his man. He's got Matt Swan at the back post. He couldn't find him. Brad Swancott did well. Snuffed out the chance, and Alex Palozzi now on the ball. Swan. And now Swancott controlling it inside his 18, and 18 and a half gone in the second half, or overall 63 and a half gone, and still 0-0 in this one. Tom Davies and Luke Remington may have just had a little bit of a head clash. McNaughton putting the ball down towards and over the goal line, but referee just checking how both players are, Tom Davies and Luke Remington. Hamilton's trainer just heading out to check on Tom Davies now. And a couple of Lambton players coming over the sideline. the second half, Blake, really not that much more exciting than what we saw in the first half.
No, not at all, but still got 25 minutes left, so anything can happen yet. Might just mean that we're going to have a very exciting finish.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see how we go in the last 25 minutes of this one. If you've just tuned in, you'll be happy because you haven't missed much. 20 minutes gone in the second half. That means it can only get better. The last 25 minutes here at Arthur Eden Oval. They've had some cracking matches here, the Lambton Jaffas, this season. At home, they've had some great contests. 3-2 over the Jets Youth, 2-2 with Broadmeadow Magic. There's Tom Smart on this the near side, going to McPherson. In the back there from Hodges, and the referee gives the free kick. So I'll keep running through those results here at home. 3-1 against Charlestown. 1-1 with Adamstown, low scoring compared to the others. 2-1 against Maitland, 3-2 against Jets Youth, and then 4-3 against Western. And today, 0-0. So I wonder if it'll be the first game this year at Arthur Eden Oval where no goals are scored. Jamie Burns, ball just beating him over the goal line, and Danny Island will have another goal kick. Sun totally covered now by the clouds. Don't think it'll be returning for the rest of the afternoon. It's Joe Wheelhouse. Now for Palozzi. Nice turn there from Alex Palozzi. Hits the shot. Probably was more looking for Wheelhouse, but went straight to Danny Island.
Yeah, it was good defending from the front there. Luke Ramsey came in and closed down, forced a turnover there, and well intercepted by Joe Wheelhouse, and a good turn by Palozzi. So things are looking good here for the Jaffas.
I think we've spoken about how uninteresting the game is. Here's Mooney trying to put a ball through, how unexciting the game's been. But the defences of both sides, Blake, they've been great this afternoon. One thing they have done very well, as Swancott takes the grab, is that they've really stopped both sides' attacking weapons from getting close to goal. They've really kept them out on an angle when they've been able to shoot. Riley McNaughton had a long-range effort that just went over. But that's really where both sides' strikers have been made to shoot from this afternoon. As Pete McPherson gets away. Down this near side. Playing it on still with McPherson. Goes to McNaughton. Back to Pete McPherson. Swan gets on the end of it. Matt Swan does very well. Now for Cooper. Mooney. Looking down the line and put a little bit too much on it, and Brad Swancott gets on the end of it. And Lambton really, they do look a lot stronger at the back with Michael Sessions, Blake. They look a whole lot better.
Yeah, they definitely do. You said that both defences have performed extremely well today, and Michael Sessions is a big reason for the Jaffas doing so well. He's going to have to be on his game for the full 90 minutes. So I've just seen Pat Brown down here for Hamilton warming up, and he's a very good player to be a fresh substitution today for Olympic.
So Brad Swancott will take the free kick just outside the 18. .68.5 gone. Lambton and Hamilton locked here at 0-0 here on Bar TV. Big afternoon of sport. The AFL, Terrigal of Ochre and Newcastle City. The Greens are playing in the Union, and the league as well this afternoon with Pete Jolly. So a big afternoon of sport on Bar TV. And the free kick will go to Lambton now. He's going to have a chat to Jacob Bailey. Wheelhouse goes to McNaughton and runs down over the goal line, and it's going to be a corner kick for Lambton. So we'll see what they can muster off this one. Next week we've got Western Western taking on Maitland, the local derby. It was 1-0 to Western the first time they met way back in round 5, I believe it was, when the two sides met, as Remington tries to get it in it as well again, but he'll have another corner. So that one was 1-0 goal from Troy Herefield, former A-League player, getting the win there for Western. So Maitland have improved a lot since then, so it'll be an exciting battle up at Rockwell Automation Park. Sessions. Swan does well at the near post. Palozzi now. So Palozzi. And Tom Smart going back. Playing it now to Williams. Sessions. Now for McNaughton. Over the top looking for Remington. Hamilton once again defensively was strong and stopped the ball arriving at its target and wheelhouse. Cross now to Tom Smart. Palozzi. Nice little touch there to Tom Smart down the right edge of the box. Cuts it back post. Jamie Burns pulled down. Tom Davies. A little bit of a tug and referee says play on. And it's going to be a throw for Lambton. I think it was further up the ground than that, and referee believes so too. And Lambton will have a throw. Michael Williams is going to take it. Goes to McNaughton, but there you just sense here Blake Lambton just building up, building some pressure on the Hamilton defence.
Yeah, they're really on top of the game here. It's theirs to win, in my opinion, with 20 minutes left.
Tom Smart just ricocheting off Andrew Swan, and Palozzi turning. Nice turn. Sent Matt Swan the wrong way. FFA Cup in a few weeks' time. The end of this month, a couple of weeks away. Should be some good action. Edgeworth, of course, against Melbourne City, and Broadmeadow Magic taking on Heidelberg from Melbourne. Both sides taking on the Melbourne opponents, and the Jets and Perth Glory as well. I'll do battle for the second year in a row. There's Luke Remington now down the left-hand side. Goes up over halfway. Gets around. His man gets around away from Bailey now. Great run across the ground from Luke Remington. He was taken down. Is there going to be a card from the referee? Don't think so. He hasn't gone to his pocket this afternoon so far. Been a pretty clean game, and Wheelhouse stabbing it now across to this near side. Tom Smart getting up. And it'll run over the sideline to throw for Hamilton. And it's going to be Pat Brown that's going to come on. Didn't have the best of games last week for Hamilton, but he's going to try and make up for it in the last 15 or so minutes this afternoon. Simon Mooney goes off the ground for Hamilton. Good job, Pat Brown going in. Ball cleaning up the Jaffas dugout. Lambton getting the free kick, bit of a high foot there from Pat Brown. Atmosphere just, the temperature I should say, just going up a couple of degrees here. Just come onto the ground, Pat Brown gives away the free kick. Pete McPherson now over the top. Mason Campbell getting up with the head. Jacob Bailey. McNaughton. Back for Wheelhouse. Across the ground for Russ Smart. Squaring it back for Palozzi. Palozzi with a shot. Slices off his boot and goes wide. Very surprised, Blake. We just saw Michael Bridges walk in front of us that Lambton haven't made a change since that injury to Grant Brown early in the first half.
Oh, they did bring on Jamie Burns.
Sorry, Jamie. Sorry, I've had a total memory loss moment there. Sorry about that. They did bring on Jamie Burns, so my points totally gone out the window. As looking up the ground, looking for Palozzi. But Michael Bridges looks like he's about to come on. He's not having much game time this afternoon, just 15 minutes, but obviously that's a decision that's been made. And good child. Looking over there for Swan. Williams. Now for McNaughton. He's got some space again in front of him. Riley McNaughton slaloming through the defence. Ireland gets out. Good save from Danny Ireland. Came out, put his body on the line. And it's still locked at 0-0. 75 minutes gone in the game. Here at Arthur Eden Oval this afternoon, the home of the Lambton Jaffas, the defending champions in the Northern New South Wales National Premier League, as Jacob Bailey with a little challenge on Remington. He earns the first yellow card of the afternoon, and it looks like Michael Bridges is about to come onto the ground now. Just got a halt in proceedings. Quickly, we've already seen who's coming off. It's going to be Riley McNaughton who's coming to the sideline. Wheelhouse. Now Swan off the top and towards the line. Pat Brown getting across. Tom Smart with the throw goes to McPherson. Coming at him was Goodchild. Flying in from the front. Korotic, Pat Brown. And now we're going to have another free kick. Yellow card goes against Sessions. Hamilton fans enjoy that. And Hamilton with the free kick now. Swan up and over the top. Swan got punches. Jacob Bailey getting across. You reel it in. He can't. And another free kick to Hamilton. This time, a little bit better position. Michael Bridges over next to the referee, and they've taken it quickly. Now for Reece Cooper with a shot. Swancott decides not to take it. Decided not to take it cleanly and just knocks it over the bar, and it's going to be a corner kick for Hamilton. So a little bit of a danger moment for Lambton here. It's near post, McPherson. Now for Palozzi. Goes to Jamie Burns. Burns down this right side. Still with Jamie Burns. He's not impressed, and Hodges back on the inside. Smart. Wheelhouse. Bridges back to Wheelhouse. Down the line, McPherson. Still with Tom Smart. Good interception there from Swan. Not afraid of putting his body on the line. Kevin Davidson. Challenge on Swan. Goes down. Remington evades the swinging boot, and there'll be another free kick. The atmosphere just getting a little bit more intense here, Blake.
Yeah, someone just picked up a yellow card there. I don't know who or what for.
I think it was the boot that missed Luke Remington as he, or may have just clipped him. But it was up there, so.
I think we're going to see Michael Bridges hit a free kick here.
Oh, yes, here we go. We saw him just miss in, I think, the game against against the Jets Youth. It was here, so it was that game against the Jets Youth. So we haven't had another game here at Arthur Eden. That's Michael Breaches. Here we go. Let's see what he can do. He hits it nicely. Oh, what a save from Danny Ireland. Well, you said Brad Swancott might be a man of the match, Blake. Danny Ireland's done pretty well to see if he can get the $50 Das Hundhaus man of the match voucher. If it's a 0-0 draw, I think one of the two keepers could be in line. But that was a special free kick from Bridges, honing in on the bottom right corner, or Danny Ireland's bottom left. Strong left arm to parry it wide. $80 gone. Down the line now. Swan. Now for Swan again. Still with Swan. Does well, Matt Swan. And it's going to be Hamilton's throw. Andrew Swan goes down the line. Reese Cooper. McPherson. Over the top, Bridges. Calling for the free kick and wins it. So we're back here in a couple of weeks' time for Lambton and Edgeworth. Rematch of the battle earlier in the year that Edgeworth won 2-1 with 10 men on the ground after Bren Hamill was sent off early on. It's Tom Davies now down the far sideline. Still with Tom Davies. Takes on Sessions. He's on a yellow card, so has to be careful over there, Michael Sessions, and in the end does well and wins Lambton the throw. Williams down the line. Bit of a head clash again. Remington and Matt Swan have gone down. Oh, there's blood coming off the forehead of Matt Swan. That is not a good sight at all. He is in a lot of trouble, Matt Swan. He put his hand on his head, and that is a bad injury. So this could be a little bit of time, but that lucky we don't have a replay machine, Blake, because I don't know if you saw. Did you say he had the head clash, put his hand to his head, and there was a lot of blood on his hand? So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's a little bit far away from us over here, isn't it? But you could tell instantly that there is a bit of a problem. And
May have
with all the
dropped an elbow or something in the... It was Luke Remington and him that went up. But just going over those... yeah, this could take a little bit of time. But just going next week, Western and Maitland at Rockwell Automation Park. The week after, it's Lambton and Edgeworth on the Saturday. And then after that, it is Hamilton and Western in round 16. So got a few big matches coming up in the next few weeks. Unfortunately, you won't be here, Blake. You're heading off, but hopefully we'll see who we can get in to replace you. No one will replace you, but no one can do as good a job. But we'll see who we can get.
Oh, I'm sure you could find someone. No, yeah, I'll miss the next 3 weeks, but I'll be back for the last match of the year. I don't know what that one is, but hopefully it'll be a cracker.
You'll be all primed and ready for the finals.
Yeah, two finals. I don't know what we're doing on Bar TV. If we're getting both games, both weekends.
As far as I know, we're doing both the semi-finals.
Yeah, that'll be good, very good. So 4 live semi-final matches and then the grand final.
So they've taped up Matt Swan, and I think thank goodness that they do have one change left. So it's going to be Ben Coyner who's going to go on for Matt Swan, but I don't think he'll be back in the side next week. And it looked like a pretty bad head gash for the number 12. It was Matt Swan, just to make sure, the number 12. So we'll have a little bit more stoppage time in the first half now. Kevin Davidson Up the line now with Palozzi with some space in front of him, Alex Palozzi. He's got Kyle Hodges going to hit the shot. It goes wide. Perfect angle from up here. See it going wide the whole way off the boot. Danny Ireland breathing a sigh of relief, and the score stays all locked up at 0-0 after 84 minutes and 40-odd seconds. Bridges now. Michael Bridges stabbing one up the line. Looking for Jamie Burns, but goes over the sideline. Andrew Swan now with coin up. The pressure from Jamie Burns. Okay, good trial getting up now for Sessions going back and over the sideline. Some pressure now for Lambton to absorb. Andrew Swan with a throw. Back to Kyle Hodges. Mason Campbell. Looking for Pat Brown just over his head and over the sideline for a throw now for Lambton down in the near corner. And Lambton with a free kick. So can either of these two sides find a winner? Bridges. Now to Palozzi. Hodges comes into his back and wins the free kick. So Lambton. Doesn't look like Bridges is going to take this one. He's standing on the edge of the 18, or now going inside the 18 now. So it's going to be Palozzi, probably looking for the head of the Englishman. Played for many a side in the UK. There's Palozzi now. Good header away from Goodchild. Tom Smart comes over the sideline. Throw for Lambton. Sunderland, Leeds, Newcastle, Bristol City, Carlisle, Hull and MK Dons. Just a list of the sides he's played for. Jamie Burns now squaring it into Jacob Bailey's knee and bounces up for Danny Ireland.
Ben, just an update from out at Rockwell Automation Park. Haven't looked for a while, but 16 minutes ago, Western went ahead. 20 minutes into the second half through Paul Clout, he got a double.
So Paul Clout with two, so Western. They needed a victory after last week's devastating loss here at Arthur Eden Oval. Jamie Burns down this near side. Andrew Swan and Burns coming together. And he wins the free kick. Mason Campbell. Get up, and he totally missed the ball, did Kevin Davidson. Ball thwacked over the sideline. And Hamilton get the free kick. Very good position for Hamilton here. The final 2 minutes. Still 0-0. We're thinking it's the first game ever on Bar TV that if it ends at 0-0, that has been 0-all. So here's Pat Brown squaring it up, and Jacob Bailey, the shot from Mason Campbell. It's taken a deflection, and it's going to be a corner kick for Hamilton. So once again, Hamilton getting down Lambton's end, causing a few problems for the Lambton defence. It'll only take a scrappy goal from here, and they'll claim the 3. Goes back post, there's the header. Oh, Ben Coyner getting up and Brad Swancott doing well. A bounce over Koritich, but Ben Coyner got on the end of it. Second time in a few minutes with the head, and now a third header. Good child. Flinging it on for Pat Brown. They'll on the left-hand side for Hamilton. Still Pat Brown squaring it up. And now it sits up for Reese Cooper, who had time to control. And he tried to go at it first time, and it sliced off his boot rather harmlessly in the end over the byline. And Brad Swancott will try and knock it up the ground as we finish now regulation time of the first. The second half, we'll have stoppage time probably a few minutes after that injury to Matt Swan, head injury. Up the ground from Swancott. Header over the top and now almost through for Cooper. Getting on the end of it, Pat Brown, he was away. The free kick goes Lambton's way. Swancott. He'll bring it up. Just over 1 minute now in second half stoppage time gone. Swancott long looking for Palozzi. Jacob Bailey did well. Remington back to Palozzi. Remington trying to get it back off the 1-2. Cooper turned over now for Wheelhouse. The captain looks for Jamie Burns down this right-hand side. He's got Swan on the inside. Gets under it. Danny Ireland gets up and does well. Very good in the air, Danny Ireland. He's been very good today, as he always is. Michael Williams going back. Knocking the header, but good child now. And Koritich on that far side with Pete McPherson. Back to Williams. McPherson again on that far side. Hamilton with the throw now. Another throw going Hamilton's way. So Blake, you've got a tough decision with the man of the match. Are you thinking? Who are you thinking at the moment?
Yeah, I went with Brad Swancott early, didn't I? But he hasn't really had to do much since then.
And then Danny Ireland as well in the second half made that great save from Michael Bridges' free kick.
Yeah, maybe you just split it with Danny Ireland and Swancott.
25 each.
They can go
to dinner together
and talk about the game and how boring it was.
There's the ball put back post. Swancott may have got a hand to it, but it doesn't matter because Davidson, now he's had a bit of a shocker in the end there. He goes over the sideline. Both sides will recognise this probably wasn't their finest hour and look to improve into next week. But in the end, both sides' defences have stood strong this afternoon. 3 minutes of stoppage time now. Maybe a couple more with that injury and a substitution. So still probably a little bit more to go. Up the ground, Swan, Andrew Swan. Wheelhouse wins the header. Goes to Koritich. Over the top, but Brad Swancott is going to come out. Nodded back to him by Sessions. Swancott, high. Palozzi gets up. Tom Davies now. Ping pong in the middle of the ground now. Wheelhouse. Came in with Bailey. And they win the free kick now. Hamilton. Swan looking long onto that far side. Reese Cooper. And the referee calls full time on not one of the greatest games of the season. In the end, it's a point each for Lambton and Hamilton. And 90 minutes plus stoppages. 90 minutes plus stoppages couldn't separate these two sides. So 0-0 after 90 minutes here. And Blake, what were your thoughts on round 13?
Yeah, we were talking off air before the game that it was a bit quiet out at Edgeworth last week. It was a bit quiet here today, I think. it was good, decent turnout from both sides, but neither side really gave their fans much to cheer about. I think we saw the post hit once and a couple of brilliant one-on-one saves, but all in all, it was a pretty slow, lackluster game, wasn't it? With not much to talk about. So both sides grab a point. Just have a quick look at the table, if I can find it over here. If Western end up winning that game, Lambton will still finish the round in third and Hamilton in second. So both sides won't have to worry about any movement, but they will have to worry about Western and Broadmeadow possibly closing the gap on them with 5 games left in the season.
Yeah, so next week it's Western and Maitland at Rockwell Automation Park. A week after, Lambton taking on Edgeworth here, and then the week after that it'll be Western and Hamilton at Darling Street. So a few weeks to look forward to, hopefully a little bit more exciting than what we saw this afternoon. It was 0-0, Lambton and Hamilton this afternoon at Arthur Eden Oval. And until next week, it's goodbye.
Real guys, real sport. Bar TV.